We saw 125 movies in 2023, but what were the best?
Just another movie night.
Hello, everybody. We're Just Another Movie Night, and I am Scott.
And I'm Joe.
And we are doing before and after reviews, but we're doing something a little different because there's no movie this week. Nothing that we're really going to see. We also got a little vacation time planned, and we also had some difficulties. We've been behind on a lot of stuff, so a lot of things, reviews haven't come out because of phone breaking, technical difficulties, sickness. We got everything going on. But here we are. We're going to do a little something. We're going to do our rankings of the best movies of 2023.
Okay.
And in perfect timing because the Oscars just came out, right? The Oscar nominations just released. We already had the Golden Globes, the BAFTA, the Emmys. I think we've had like everything. And now we're just waiting for the Golden Globes. And Oscars to happen. And since the nominations came out, everybody's talking about the snubs and the letdowns and all that crap. And there's a lot. I can see a lot of debate. But I will say this. We haven't seen every movie of 2023. Who could? And I'm just going to name some of the ones we've missed recently. We haven't seen Killers of the Flower Moon, Past Lives, American Fiction, or Zone of Interest. Both haven't been released near us. Iron Claw, The Color Purple, Rustin, and May December, which I know are all pretty much big contenders of the year. Unfortunately, we haven't seen all those. So this is really just our personal lists, and we're going to do a top 10 back and forth. So, it's our personal things. And of course, everybody's not going to agree. And we're probably not even going to agree with each other. So, give us a little leeway. We're just doing a little spitball. And last year we did something called the Jammies where we were trying to do it. It was a complete debacle. We didn't know our structure. We didn't have any plan. So we're going to do it again virtually. Our Jammies for the best movies of 2023. So you want to start with number 10?
Yeah, I'll start
What's
with number
yours?
10. My pick for number 10 best movie of 2023 is the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie. I really had a great time with that. I thought the art was great. And I love it was just overly cute. Everything about it. I really did love everything about it. I had a great time with it. It was fun.
Yeah, it's funny because I actually gave 14 movies last year an 8 out of 10, which is pretty good. For me, it's rare. A lot of 7s and mediocre 6s and stuff like that. Rarely have I been going over 8, but I gave 14 movies an 8, and my number 14 is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Oh, okay.
I also enjoyed this movie. I just thought it was a hell of a lot of fun. It looks great.
It was a hoot. Yeah, I really liked it. The art was just fantastic. Loved it.
Yeah, my number 10 is Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning.
Oh, okay.
I think this movie needs to get a little more praise for what it's doing.
I did like it, yeah.
No movie in that far into a franchise should be that kick-ass, that entertaining, and balls to the wall. And the fact that no one saw it pisses me the frig off. So I have to give it to it.
Okay, all right, okay.
It's number 9.
Number 9 on my list is Evil Dead Rise.
Wow. Okay.
I love this movie. I love it.
It's odd because so many people do not.
It's very bizarre that they don't. I just love everything that they did in this movie. I love how far they went in the movie. It was creep factor 11. The main character was absolutely fantastic in her portrayal.
The woman doing it is fantastic.
She was so good. She was so good. And I just really enjoyed this movie a lot. And I didn't even think I would love it as much as I did, but I really had a great time with this movie.
I enjoyed this film as well. I wish that the last act was tighter. I felt like they didn't know where they wanted to go at the end, but there was a lot to like as a horror fan. That's why I'm so shocked that people didn't like it.
Yeah, I'm shocked too. I am.
All right, so my number 9 is Oppenheimer. And I know that'll piss off a shitload of people who think it's one of the best things ever made. I enjoyed it. I feel it was a little disjointed. I think that it gets a lot right. Nolan is a great director. There's no denying that. It feels less of a biopic and more of an idea about something else. And that aspect is pretty good. But because it's got so much going on in it, there's a courtroom drama, the making of the bomb, this guy's life. They have so many things juggling that I feel like it kind of gets lost along the way. And I don't feel like it nails it 100%. I definitely think that it is very good. And that's why I have it on this top list. I definitely think there's things about it that are excellent. But I found almost everything but Oppenheimer himself the most interesting thing about the movie. And I think in that sense, the movie isn't good.
Yeah, I agree with you about that. And actually, that is it's a good time to bring up the fact that I have booted this off my list because I have given this reconsideration, and my original score was a 9, and I am taking that back. I have thought about this in great detail and with great time, and I am booting it off the list. So, yeah.
Yeah, and I feel like anything that comes after this for so many people is just going to be like, frig you, screw you because you have this on ahead of this movie. I get it. I completely get. There is, and I definitely think there is a thing about Nolan himself that people just adore him to the point where anything he puts out, they either get a pass. They act like, Tenet wasn't good. It was okay. It wasn't this masterpiece that people expect from him. And it's so funny that movie happened because people act like it never occurred. When they talk about him, they just say he's a genius. And I'm like, do you remember Tenet from only last year?
It was forgettable.
A couple of years ago?
Yeah.
It wasn't that great. So calm down, it happens. I think he is very good, though. He's got so much talent.
Yeah,
and the acting in the movie is phenomenal. So
yeah, it is.
I get it. But for me, it's low, unfortunately. All right, so what's up? What's next? 8.
Okay. For my number 8 pick, I chose Equalizer 3.
Whoa, okay.
I loved it.
Very interesting.
And I can watch Denzel Washington tie his shoes, and I could be completely entertained by it. And I really like the setting of it, of the film. I love the people, the characters. Everybody in that film did a great job. And I loved watching him just totally, kick ass and stuff.
Yeah.
He's great. And he's just so classy, and he's wonderful to watch on screen that I just can't get enough of him. I will watch him do anything. So I had a good time with that movie, and I like that series. I think that series is great. The Equalizer films.
I got to tell you, I think you just reminded me. I maybe didn't rate this movie. I feel like maybe I forgot that I rated it because I think I would have had it on here too because you just reminded me that I think I have 15 films at an 8. Like, that's a little shocking to me.
I mean, yeah, we both like this film a lot.
Yeah,
so.
That definitely would be... Definitely an 11. I'll tell you my number 11. Someone at my, we have a whole bunch of movie reviewers online. We all chat. We have a group we started, and someone in the chat said that a certain action movie of recent was better than John Wick. And I said, I agree, and I'll double down with that and say I think Equalizer 3 is better than John Wick. And everybody's like, holy shit. Like, some of them were like, holy shit. But a lot of people were like, yes. Mm-hmm. I get why John Wick is popular. I understand it. But the movie has gotten too silly for me. And it is not working for me anymore. It got a little too out of control. You turn something to 11, it shouldn't be. Mm-hmm. Equalizer knew exactly how to do its movie. And it kept it very grounded. And the character, it's about him. There's some stuff going on around him. It's not as important as he is.
Right.
And it's just perfect. It's exactly what I want to see. The action is amazing, and it didn't have to go 20 times higher to make it entertaining. It could stay still grounded and still work. Mm-hmm. And that's why it nails it. And also cinematography, killer. Directing, Anton Fuqua is amazing.
Yeah, he's amazing. He and Denzel are a great match.
Yes.
I think that they do great together, and it was really fun to see him back with Dakota Fanning. I thought that was
That was a nice
cute.
touch.
It was a good touch, and I really did like this movie a lot. I had a great time with it. I could watch it 500 times over John Wick any day. I don't really care much for John Wick, and I don't get the love for it. I was
Yeah.
done after two. It's enough.
We said like there's a lot to praise about the last John Wick film in directing and choreography.
And the choreography was great. The
Choreography is
fight
incredible.
choreography,
Yeah.
yes.
And just the willingness that Keanu Reeves does in stunt performing in that movie is phenomenal.
Oh yeah.
But
No, I
as a
give him
film,
props.
as a full film, no, sorry.
No.
He's bouncing off cars for 20 minutes. It made me laugh too
That
much.
is 100% the truth. I
Yeah.
can't. So, yeah, so,
And now talking about pissing off everybody,
oh gosh.
my number 8, Barbie. Sorry. I absolutely loved it
I don't understand why that would piss everyone off.
because it beat Oppenheimer. Yeah, here's something that might blow people's minds. I just found Barbie refreshing, interesting, kind of bold and daring. It stepped bounds in a way that you don't see. And the fact that it made so many people argue and talk is exactly what it was trying to do.
Yeah.
And it was successful. Now, I will say some of the comedic stuff with like Will Ferrell, a little too much.
You know, he pops in these movies, and I feel like with Will Ferrell, he's supposed to just be eating up all the scenery, you know?
Yeah.
But in this one, I don't feel that he really did his job. He was very bland, and he just didn't thrill me at all.
See, that's the thing. I didn't want him to be as corny and over the top. He was in the human world. He should have been normal. Instead, they made him like cartoony. And I didn't like that. I wish they would have kept one separated from the other. I loved Michael Cera's bits.
And we love Kate McKinnon.
Oh, there's some great stuff in here. I mean, all the people and set direction.
Oh my God, the
Is
beautiful set pieces.
Incredible.
The goddamn wardrobe.
Yeah,
Oh,
everything.
beautiful.
A movie about Barbie should never have been this good and this
Right.
smart and this clever. And it nails it.
It
And
does.
I'm going to give it its credit that it deserves. It's the same thing with Mission Impossible for me. They both pushed in a way where their movies didn't need to be that great, and they still went for it. And they went, you know what? We're going to push it. We're going to push the envelope. We're going to try something different. We're going to make messages. We're going to, do stunts that we don't need to do. They both need to deserve the credit that they get, I think. So that's why it's my number 8. And hey,
Okay.
if you don't like it, it's okay.
You know what?
It's okay you don't
I
like it.
like it. So my, I guess we're on number 7.
Yep.
So my number 7 pick is Anatomy of a Fall. I thought that movie was fantastic. The main actress, I believe her name is
Sandra Huller.
Sandra Huller, yes. She was so good in this movie. The way, just her facial expressions, she can express anything with just her eyes. It was so good. It kept me totally on the edge of my seat the whole time. And I love the whole courtroom thing and stuff. It was fantastic. Everything that they did in this film, it was just great. It was a great movie. It was well acted. It was well directed. I thought it was fantastic.
I can't argue about any of it, and I'll only add to it when I get to it on my list because I think it's fantastic.
Okay, yeah, it was wonderful. All the actors did a great job.
Yeah.
I can't say enough good things. It literally had me hanging on the edge of my seat the whole time.
You know what has me on the edge of my seat? To know what your next movies are.
Oh, okay.
Because that's fantastic. But
I'll blow your mind.
Well, my number 7 before you get into it is The Holdovers. The Holdovers. Yeah. I love this movie. It kind of scratched that itch for me. We're gonna get into this more because everything after is pretty more grim, and I think that The Holdovers is, and we're gonna get into it more. I'm definitely gonna bookend the next picks.
Okay.
I'm gonna bookend it with something sweet, while everything in the middle is just dark. And so I feel like in these days, I notice that movies are getting more and more serious and gritty and dark and just about like just a real nihilistic approach to like looking at things in film. And I will say that The Holdovers is the complete opposite. It goes back in time, even in filming, to the 70s. It once I get the feel of the 70s movies, where it's just a sweet movie about people, and it has a message about, you know, you seeing each other and showing you how we kind of share the same things, even though we feel like we're different. And I think that really, really worked for me. And I think it just scratched the itch that I needed. Sometimes you just don't want to watch the same sad, gut wrenching, thought provoking film. Sometimes you just want to smile. And I think the three actors in this movie came together in a way where at the end of the movie, I wanted to watch them more. I
Yes.
actually liked them
I
as
agree with
people.
that. Yeah, I did too.
And so it worked for me.
Yeah, especially the lady that was playing Mary. She was fantastic.
Yeah.
I don't remember her name. I should know her name.
Divine?
Divine, yeah, Divine. She was great. So I do. I like that pick. It's a good pick.
So yeah, that's my number 7. What's your number 6?
Okay, so now we're getting down and dirty. So my number 6 is Sisu. I loved this movie.
Caesar.
I loved it. And, I don't really. I could say that there wasn't much of a plot. It was kind of like a revenge flick. But the grittiness and the way this film was shot, it just was so gorgeous. It was so gorgeous. And I've never, ever rooted for someone so hard like I did for this man in this movie. It was just so beautifully filmed. And what this guy went through was just baffling. I mean, it was just crazy. Yes, it was a little over the top, towards the end. But overall, as a film, this film had me just completely wild-eyed while I was watching it. And that is my number 6.
It's interesting because you just found a movie that I had forgotten when I said that chat was talking about. They said was better than John Wick, and said it was Sisu, and that group was like Sisu's better, and I added The Equalizer to it, and I'm like they're both better action films, and I agree with that. The only reason that this movie, and if I don't recall if I gave it a high score as well when we saw it, I might have, but I've come down on it. And the reason I came down on it is it does get a little. That's what I figure. I gave it a 7. I do agree with this 7 because it got too cartoony in the end, and it was getting to that John Wick thing, and I couldn't really defend it when I knocked John Wick and Fast and the Furious for the same thing. I mean, at the end, he's like riding a bomb.
Yeah, towards the end, it got a little bit crazy.
It's insane.
But the whole movie was like that.
It is shot incredible.
It's
and
beautiful.
It's one of those gore films that it goes back to the practical gore,
Yes.
and it looks fantastic.
You feel it. You
yeah.
feel that gore. Like, you just can feel it.
Yeah.
And it just makes you squirm.
This is a movie that is, I think, underseen and underrated. And on it from last year. And I don't know why people are sitting on it. It's a weird one. I think it should be more popular.
Yeah, I say this is a recommend from me. I think that everyone should see this movie. It was good.
All right, so my number 6 is Maestro.
Okay.
Netflix is Maestro, Bradley Cooper, and Carey Mulligan. And I don't think people are digging it as much as we did when we saw it. I really found this movie very interesting. I particularly thought the last half of the movie was fantastic, like top notch in every way. Some people have said that Bradley Cooper's accent changes, and I've heard he went so into character that he would not talk like himself behind the camera when he wasn't in scenes and offset. He was just trying to be that person, and I think that he nailed it. In particular, there are some amazing sequences in this film. There one in particular where he is conducting in a church is probably some of the best acting I've seen in a long time, and Carey Mulligan is outstanding in this film. I really, really enjoyed this movie. I think that also Cooper needs to be talked about how well he shot emotion instead of having to. Sometimes he would keep a camera back, and you would listen, and you would just get the feeling of a scene, and you didn't need to see the emotion on the film's face to understand what characters are going through. And I found that stellar. So to me, very, very good film. I don't know why people don't talk about it more, but that's just me. I loved it.
I recommend it to everybody at work. So yeah.
I think it should be seen. I think and there's some incredible makeup in that film too. He looks fantastic. So
Yep, he sure does.
that's my number. What are we on? 6. So we're going to 5.
Okay.
This is where I'm getting dark, dark.
Okay. Well, actually, mine just perked up a little because my number 5 is Barbie.
Okay.
I,
I'm surprised it's so high.
Yeah, I really, I have sat and thought about this movie and I just, Margot Robbie is so great. She just is so, not only is she beautiful, but she just has this charisma and like, you can't help but fall in love with her the minute that you see her. She's just awesome. And Ryan Gosling too. It's just really great. And, that whole cast was great. So yeah, Barbie. We already said everything about Barbie.
How do you feel about, I guess this is a good moment to bring up the snubs. She was not nominated for an Oscar.
Okay, well that makes me mad.
Yeah, also not director, too.
Yeah, Greta Gerwig wasn't
Both
nominated.
were snubbed.
That sucks.
It does suck. I don't know if Margot Robbie is Oscar nominated worthy in this movie. I think that she's doing exactly what she needs to do, but I don't know if the movie is hinging on her acting. I think it really has to do with the idea of Barbie and things around her. Mm-hmm. I can see why Ryan Gosling and America Ferrera are both being nominated. I can see that they both kind of really nail their characters and some of the emotion. I think that's an interesting thing. I'm kind of on the fence with the snub being for her, but Greta Gerwig is the one that kind of shocks me.
Yeah, that shocks me too. It really does.
She did a lot for this film.
She did.
And I'm glad it made as much money as it did, because I'm glad that she's shown that, you know what, even the smallest idea can be these huge, huge things. So that's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. So what's your number 5?
Okay, talking about, what were we just saying about Margot Robbie? What'd you say?
I said she's beautiful and amazing and has a lot of charisma.
Let's talk about someone else that's beautiful, amazing, especially when dancing naked. Let's talk about Saltburn.
All right.
Saltburn is my number 5 pick.
Okay.
It is something next level. I haven't watched a movie where at the end of the movie I either clapped or just stood up laughing.
Yeah.
This movie totally took me by surprise. I had no idea what this movie was. Clever advertising. I thought this was a coming of age drama.
Yeah.
Who knew it was a horror movie?
I mean, for real though. I mean, this, I don't know how to say his name. Barry Keoghan?
Yeah.
Keegan? I'm not sure. But he's really great. And he plays like a creepy, like weirdo so well. It's fantastic. There was a lot about this movie that was off-putting.
Oh, yes.
There's some scenes in here where you're like, oh, Jesus, Lord. Like, we don't need all that. But
unbelievable.
It was very creepy, and it was very well done and well acted.
Yeah, this movie looks incredible. It feels incredible. The music is perfect. Everything is nailing it. The camera work, everything. The set direction, this house that they're filming in is gorgeous. Everything nails it, and I do know that it's crazy. And it is dark, and it is depressing, and it is insane. And I really loved it.
Yeah. Also, shout out to Rosamund Pike, who is a complete and utter nutcase in this film.
She's not in it enough.
She's not in it enough, but she does have this creepy, beautiful vibe about her, where like she could just stare at you with like, we've seen her in other movies. She's in Gone Girl, but you could just like, she could stare at you with these eyes, and she could like see right through your soul. It's crazy. Like she just has this strangely odd face, and she could do creepy and beautiful at the same time, but creepy beautiful. I can't even describe what I'm trying to say. Like it's like she's just really cool,
Yeah.
and she was really good in this movie.
I will also point out that an unrecognizable Carey Mulligan is also in this film.
Yeah.
Completely unrecognizable.
Yeah.
But I will also point out that I don't think Robert Grant, who plays the father, gets talked about enough. He has a scene in this movie that he's like completely in his shell the whole time, and then there's this one scene where he has to freak out, and I think it really works in the scene, and it is you feel it, and it's all in him, and I think it's excellent. I don't know why, he's one of those people that's not getting talked about either, but I thought he was really, really good, and I thought everybody in this movie was really, really good. I think everybody should see it, but I know it is awkward and weird, and I will say this. It's not for the weak at heart. It is a bizarre film.
It sure is.
There's at least 4 segments in there that is like truly disgusting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So what's your number 4?
No, my number 4 is Maestro.
Okay.
I really enjoyed that movie. What's yours?
Oh, okay. That's it? That's all you
Oh yeah,
had?
we already talked a little bit. So I thought Carey Mulligan was fantastic in that movie. And I thought everyone was great in it. It was a good movie.
All right. So my number 4, just like I talked about before, another beautiful movie about the most insane thing you've ever seen in your life. Ari Aster's Beau is Afraid.
Oh my goodness.
Beau is Afraid is something I think that needs to be clapped for, because I have never seen a director completely nail what anxiety and stress looks like on film, or just the male ego, the dissecting all of the male problems in one person. It is a crazy adventure into this man's mind. And Joaquin Phoenix is a fucking genius in it. It is really, really great to watch him.
He's
in
a
this movie.
good actor, man.
The first 30 minutes are so great. They're actually funny. Some of the funniest stuff I've seen this year. And then the next part gets twisted. The movie travels in a way where you're laughing, you're confused that you're laughing, then you feel bad for laughing, then you're just completely shocked, then you're horrified, then you're laughing again. It's a roller coaster of emotion, exactly what he wanted to build. This crazy fantasy trip into this guy's mind. And I think it's fantastic. Like, I really impressed by this film. So that's why it's so high on my list.
Okay.
I told you I was getting dark.
Oh,
I'm telling you.
I'm all over the place, sir. So don't feel bad. We're on number 3?
Yeah.
Okay, my number 3 pick is Saltburn. I
Okay,
really
wow,
enjoyed
okay.
that movie so much. It was so goddamn creepy. There's so much to love about it. So much. I mean, I can go on for days. A lot of people that I talk to about it are like, "Oh man, that shit was fucked. I can't. I can't." And I'm like, I know
I
was
get it.
it
Yeah,
was
I get
fucked, but I mean, the movie was just like it was so incredibly done and well acted that I almost feel like bad for liking it as much as I do.
It is odd, right?
Because, I don't want to spoil anything, but, the ending it's crazy. It's a crazy ending and you don't expect it. And I think that's what I loved so much about it, because I was
Yeah.
like, oh, wow, like I feel bad for liking this movie as much as I do. It was so creepy.
Yeah.
Like, what does that say about my character?
Talk about the slow burn paying off.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my God. It was quite the film. It was.
You said your number 4, and that was what? It was Maestro?
Yes.
Okay. I thought for some reason we skipped it.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah.
What's yours?
Number 3, Dream Scenario.
Okay. Okay.
I don't know how he keeps doing it, but Nicolas Cage keeps coming back. And when he does, it is some of the best work you see. He gives everything to this movie and knows exactly how to play this character in a way that I found both hilarious and completely pitiful. Like I just felt for this guy, and I felt for the entire thing. And it is directed, and the script for this movie is so intelligent, so smart, and the way that it's directed it does so many tricks and so many ideas to completely get this idea. I absolutely loved it, and I like I said, Nicolas Cage disappears, makes a bunch of crap, then makes like a great film again, and he's been doing that off and on for the last 5 years. I'm impressed by this guy's the choosing, and he's making a reference recently that he wants to quit. I hope he doesn't. But if he does quit on Dream
Don't
Scenario,
say that.
if Dream Scenario is one of his last films, he's chosen wisely because it is a very, very good movie.
Okay, I'll just add on to that because Dream Scenario is my number two. And I love this movie so much, and I've been like seriously a Nicolas Cage fan since I was born. I can't even tell you. I love him so much. And I don't care if he makes 5 crappy movies and then one good one. I will watch anything that he does. Anything that he has his name on, I will watch.
Yeah.
I love him. And I don't give a crap who judges me on it. I love him.
Yeah.
And this movie, it was like this part was made for him. He did so amazing in this role, and I'm pissed. I am so mad that this movie did not even get one Oscar nom for anything.
Yeah, I do not know why people are not gravitating toward, especially him. Like, I can understand this as a year of heavy directing, of heavy cinematography, and all these unique things. The dream sequences in this movie they feel like real dreams. It is
Yeah.
very creepy to watch. It's unsettling, but when you get the plot, we get the movies talking about it, it's very impressive.
Yeah, and how like awkward he is and how he can almost make awkwardness so endearing and cute. And I mean just everything about the directing in this movie, and it was just fantastic. I loved it so
Yeah.
much.
He definitely is once again just robbed. I think he
Robbed,
again
yeah.
was not nominated for Pig.
That's an upset.
It's an upset. That
He
movie
was
was
great.
also amazing.
And Mandy,
Yeah, oh, Mandy.
he did a great. I mean, he is one of the fucking best. I don't care. You can fight me. Anyone can fight me. Bring it because
Even if
is,
he makes 5 shitty ones, he's gonna give you
Yes.
one that's really entertaining. And last year, or at least the last 2 years, he gave us a lot of good stuff.
Yeah, he did. And he's I'm not gonna be I will be the first one to tell you that he has made some garbage films,
Yeah.
but like you go way back to movies that I love, like Moonstruck, Peggy Sue Got Married, Raising Arizona, all of those movies, even Valley Girl, whereas my '80s kids, I I love him. I mean he will never do any wrong in my eyes ever, and this movie was so freaking good.
Yeah, and I mean, last year we got, even if Renfield wasn't that great, he was so much fun.
He brought it
Nicholas
still.
Hoult and him,
Yeah.
still entertained.
Yes.
Even if the movie itself wasn't the greatest, still entertaining
Yep.
to see Nicolas Cage fulfill his dream of being Dracula.
Yes, it was funny, and you know what? I'm happy for him. I'm glad he got to do that. So that is my number two.
All right, my number 2 is Anatomy of a Fall.
Oh,
Anatomy of
okay.
a Fall is quite special to me. I think that this is again a year for being extremely unique, and those are the films that I gravitate toward the most. I gravitate to these films. Well, when we get to number 1, we can laugh about what I just said. But the unique films that I gravitate toward, I want to always feel something different or special, or from these films. I want to come out of it thinking about things more. I don't want to just be like, oh, I'm entertained, popcorn. I want to completely just marinate in this idea of what this movie's trying to tell me about. And all of these last few movies I've named, Saltburn, Dream Scenario, they and this one in particular, they made me think. Beau's Afraid, the same thing. This movie is such a clever, unique idea on the court system, on how we look at crime, like judging people, not really knowing, and it not really being about that. Now I can see why people would be mad because they're expecting a movie to tell them a complete story. This movie leaves it up to you, and they give you things, and you can take out from what you think. And what I find really clever is that everybody's going to have a different understanding of what this movie is. And they're going to come out of it with different, unique judgments. Because you're the jury in this movie. Very clever. And also being very open to exploring how we look at women in crime. I love this movie. And you already pointed out, both the director and the actress and the child in this movie are top notch. And there's not much going on. This is, again, a movie that's slow building, and it is just an exploration of people. And I really thought it was special. I loved it. I'm so glad we saw this movie.
Yeah, it was great.
We didn't get to see it in the theater because I don't think it was one of those movies that we can not get around our area. And it just randomly came out on streaming, and I was like, okay, gotta rent it.
Yeah.
I'm glad I did.
For sure.
So yeah, definitely my number 2.
Okay.
So now we're at the big number 1.
We're at the big number 1.
I can't wait to hear it because mine's gonna be laughable. So what's your number 1?
Oh, mine. Okay. Well, mine's probably going to be laughable too, but mine is Spider-Man.
Holy shit.
Across the
I'm
Spider-Verse.
literally shocked. Okay.
I had such a great time with it. I loved it.
Okay.
I thought it was great. I loved the art so much. I can literally watch that movie over and over again. I just thought the art was so good. So, yeah.
This was my number 12.
Ooh.
Yeah. My problem with Across this is Across the Spider-Verse.
Yeah.
My problem with Across the Spider-Verse is it's not a full movie.
Yeah.
I am having a hard time judging this year. Movies haven't been full movies. There's been a couple of them. This is one of them, and it left a sour note in my mouth when we walked out of the theater because we didn't get an ending or conclusion to anything, and I don't know how long it'll be before I do get a conclusion.
Well, it
And
was
I
kind
can't
of
be satisfied by it.
yeah, it was kind of like bittersweet to me because I'm like, okay, well, that sucks that we don't have an ending. However, we don't have an ending, so they're gonna make more of these. So it's like,
Yeah.
okay, so we're gonna have more. All right, I'm happy then.
Yeah.
But now I'm like hoping that comes to fruition because if it doesn't, then I'm gonna be really upset.
I mean, I'm hoping we'll get it soon. I mean, look, I adored the movie as well.
Yeah, it was good.
I really enjoyed it. It's hard not to. These are great characters, some of the best animation. It's the most unique superhero films. I absolutely love them. And Lord Miller, they're just fantastic. They nailed it on everything. The Lego movies. I mean, Batman and Lego Batman might be one of the best Batman films ever
so
made.
good.
I know these guys, they rock. I just wish this movie at least gave us an ending to one of the plots, and it really didn't. And it's hard for me to love it.
I get it.
When I get to see part 2 and I have both side by side, maybe I'll feel differently. This is what if Infinity War ended with, Thanos getting the glove and that was it.
Yeah, I hear you.
At least he snapped. We got an ending. The villain won.
Yeah.
He walked off into the sunset. That's crazy. That's that's Infinity War. Then Endgame is how do we come back from this?
Right.
That's an ending. This movie really deserved. It needed that. That's why to see it at number 1 on your list, that surprises me.
Yeah, well, it was kind of like
shocked.
I was teetering between that and Dream Scenario. They're very close because I really love Dream Scenario, but I just had a really great time watching it. I came out smiling, so I love that art. I thought it was really great.
Which one? There's so many good ones.
Yeah,
there's so many different
all
unique
of it.
art styles
Yeah,
for each Spider-Man.
it was adorable.
Yeah, punk rock Spider-Man
Oh my
or
God. Yeah.
what was it? Bollywood
the
Spider-Man.
Bollywood, yeah.
It's fantastic.
So good. So good. I had a great time with it. So yeah.
Well, what was I just saying about all that trash talking I was giving Spider-Man? Because my number 1 is Elemental.
Oh.
I know. This is one everybody hates. Don't know why.
I loved Elemental.
Elemental, for me, is that movie that I was talking about when I said there's a sandwich here. Holdovers to Elemental. Everything in between is a very dark look at humanity. They're all really interesting explorations into people, the darkness that we have inside of us, and all the problems that we manifest, even with Maestro. This is a man that's hiding who he is and stuff like that. Elemental and the holdovers, why they're on the sides, is because sometimes you just need a smile.
I know.
And Elemental not only made me smile, it made me once again feel hopeful for humanity. I
Yeah.
know that's odd, but once in a while you need a beautiful film. And I thought, I know this is crazy. I know everybody's probably like, what the fuck is wrong with him? Someone at my work recently said, I had to watch a stupid movie with my kids. It was called Elements or something. And I was like,
No.
Elemental? I thought it was beautiful.
It was beautiful.
And he was like, ugh, that's for women.
oh
And
my
I was like,
God.
what the hell, man?
What is wrong with men?
Yeah, so this is what I'm talking about. And to me, I am not afraid to admit it. I cried like a baby. I loved it. I cried in happiness. It doesn't happen very often, but man, when it does, I feel great. Because sometimes you just need to shit out all that bad emotion.
Yeah.
And all those movies in my top five, like five up to now, have been that. Really dark, brooding movies. This is a beacon of of just sunshine in middle. It's a movie just about seeing how we all have differences, but we can all be together. Everybody has a place. Everybody has a special in their a special thing in their heart that they can love each other, even with their differences. It's a gorgeous film. It made me think of my love with my wife. It made me think of the happiest things ever, and it looks absolutely gorgeous.
It really does, and you're so sweet.
It's just a beautiful looking film, and I really needed that great happy moment. And it's sitting on there, and it's been sitting there, and it's the one that is like the underdog that everybody's crapping on, saying Pixar and Disney are failing. And I see this movie, and I'm like, guys, where do we need nihilism? Like, do we need this darkness? One of our friends online, she said that it needed a villain. And I'm like, that's the exact opposite of what it needed. The villain is just the obstacles in life that are keeping us apart from each other, the things that are dividing us. That's the whole message of the movie. So no, it doesn't need a villain, because the villain are the things that make us stop doing what we want in life. And then this movie's about breaking those obstacles and being together and being happy together. What could be better than that?
Oh, stop.
So to me, poor Elemental, I will kiss your ass. Thank you for making me laugh and smile this year. It makes me very happy.
Oh, that's so sweet. I'm actually putting that on my honorable mentions list for the 2023 list. I
Yeah.
have just a couple.
Yeah, first, let me hear some.
Oh, okay. So my honorable mentions are Godzilla, -1.
Yeah, yeah.
Thanksgiving. You can laugh at me. I don't give a shit. Blow it out your ass. Oppenheimer, and The Holdovers.
Okay.
Those are my honorable mentions. And Elemental. I thought those movies were really good, but they just didn't quite make the top 10.
Yeah, I've already said that two of yours, Spider-Man and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, were both in my honorable mentions. But the ones that we didn't mention and neither one of us picked and you didn't have in your honorable mentions that I have are The Covenant with the Guy Ritchie film with
Oh shit, Jakey Jilly.
Jakey Jilly. It's another movie that's actually got a
Yeah.
very good message
Oh
about
my God,
how
yeah.
we take these interpreters and they join us and they help us and we kind of leave them behind. It's a really pretty message. I really enjoyed this film.
Yeah, it was good.
And Guy Ritchie really stepping outside of his comfort zone, doing something a little different, and I actually enjoyed it a lot. Air. This is another one I really, really was impressed with. I did not think a movie about the shoe company making a shoe based around a basketball player would be so interesting. But Air is pretty damn interesting with some really good performances and some really great moments. In particular, Viola Davis and Jason Bateman
Yes,
have
they
some
were the
really
standouts.
good scenes in this movie. I mean, again, Matt Damon is fantastic. He's fantastic
he's
in everything
good,
he
but
does.
yeah,
but
I thought the standout was Jason Bateman and Viola Davis.
Jason Bateman has a really good scene about talking about his family, and it is kind of the motivation scene that pushes Matt Damon. And Viola Davis is great as Michael Jordan's mother. And I think they both. I think it's a pretty good film. I'm a little surprised about how good I thought that film was. So yeah, those are my honorable mentions. But let me just point this out if we can at the end here. I wrote a little list of which I think you can agree with. I don't know. I wrote a little list at the end here of like the other categories, just a little talking points.
Okay.
Okay. So I wrote a little list of what I think are the best things of the year that kind of need to be mentioned. An actress category, right?
Okay.
So I wrote Carey Mulligan.
Yeah.
I think Carey Mulligan is probably my favorite actress of the year. I think she knocked it out of the park. I do think there are some other people like Sandra Huller from Anatomy of the Fall, Emma Stone from Poor Things. I mean, Emma Stone is able and willing to do so much for that film, but we both agree we don't think it's as good as everybody's saying it is. I think it's kind of a messy film, but
Yeah.
this is a weird one. But Sarah Snook, I think she's on that show on HBO. Everybody got nominated for everything. She's in a movie called Run Rabbit Run, where
yeah.
she is really doing some dark acting in her, and should get a little more credit. I think she just won the Emmy for that show that's so popular.
Oh, Succession?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I believe that's the same actress.
I think so. Yeah, I think so.
She's pretty damn good in this movie. Even if the movie is not that good, it is an extremely dark and disturbing film where a lot of people I don't think are getting the movie, but it's seriously deep and kind of disgusting in its own way. She's fantastic at going to those dark levels. Just wanted to give a little nod to that. Also, Jennifer Lawrence for willing to be able to make comedy out of the craziest sexual stuff ever.
Yeah, she was funny.
The fact that she's willing to do that, and comedy has been really short-lived the last few years. They've been dying out. Horror and everything else kind of getting boosted. But she managed to make me laugh a lot.
And that's
so I wanted to
No
give-
Hard Feelings.
Yeah.
She was good in.
So
yeah.
I wanted to, recognize her. Supporting actress, Vanessa Kirby in Napoleon. I don't know why she's not getting talked about at all. She's very good and probably one of the better parts of Napoleon.
Yeah,
Yeah,
she
she's
was really
a
good in
standout.
that. She was.
I have her as my top, with like some people behind her, like Viola Davis and Air, but also Paula Lunchinger from El Conde, which kind of stood out through the whole movie. Like, is got just kind of making you want to watch what's going to happen to this, even if the movie was kind of bland.
Yeah, the movie was very odd.
It was very odd, but she really ate up the screen. It was really interesting. Also, Florence Pugh does not get any recognition whatsoever
Oh
for
yeah, for
Oppenheimer.
Oppenheimer. Yeah.
I know Emily Blunt's getting it. I felt her character was completely flip-floppy throughout the movie, and I do think that she's only there to set up a courtroom scene where she's going to be a badass, but she's completely misused throughout the movie before it. So I don't want to give it to her. But Florence Pugh, on the other hand,
Yeah.
is pretty much nailing it throughout. Is kind of like a obsessive.
Yeah, she did good. She did good.
And I want to point out Haley Atwell. I don't know why she doesn't get any kind of recognition for what she
My
does.
girl.
But in Mission Impossible, she had so much charisma on screen
Yeah.
that the scene in the train
Yes.
when you think she's gonna fall is actually so well done, and she is right there with Tom Cruise doing this crazy stuff, and I adored watching her, and I think I just wanted to point her out.
Awesome.
Actors, Joaquin Phoenix, I'm to me the best actor of the year, and not only for Beau is Afraid, but Napoleon as well. I think that he just is a great actor.
He really
He
is.
just stands out to me. Runners up, of course, Nicolas Cage, Bradley Cooper, Barry Keoghan, and I'd say Tom Cruise again for risking his damn life to entertain
I
us.
know,
so
he really does. That's one
friggin'
of my
much.
honorable mentions. I'm going to add him to the list on Mission Impossible.
Yeah, supporting actors, Robert Downey Jr. For me, Oppenheimer. I actually think he steals the movie. I know we've talked about this a little bit. He is stellar in this film. I think that he does a thing where he's secretly one thing in the whole movie. It's like a twist, and I think that's really, really well done. And I just wanted to point it out as the runners up for supporting actors. I just wanted to say Mark Ruffalo, probably the best part
Here's
of Poor
the best
Things.
thing of Poor Things, yes.
Ethan Hawke, again, the best part of Leave the World Behind. There's a scene in particular that his acting is top notch.
Yeah.
Shocking one, but Jamie Foxx for They Clone Tyrone, who steals the whole fucking movie.
He really does,
I
though.
think that John Boyega is really good in that movie.
He is. He's unrecognizable.
He's unrecognizable. He's very good in it. But Jamie Foxx, when he does comedy, he steals his show.
He really does.
Really just steals it.
His banter with the girl who is playing the prostitute.
Yeah, I had her name down too. I wanted to put her for
Fantastic.
supporting because she's great in it too. That movie, not necessarily my favorite, but the actors were great in
Yeah.
it. I think that movie deserves so much more for that great cast.
Yes, I was entertained by just
The three of
two.
them.
Yeah, but the two of them, the prostitute with Jamie Foxx,
They steal it,
hysterical.
yeah.
Hysterical.
Because John Boyega's character is a little too on the serious side, but the other two feel more relatable in that
Yeah.
jokey way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ryan Gosling for Barbie, of
Yeah.
course. I mean,
He's great.
again, another actor willing to do crazy stuff to get a joke, and I adore him for it. And directors, Ari Aster for Bo's Not Afraid. To me, I already said that. The director of Anatomy of a Fall, the director of Saltburn, Dream Scenario, Oppenheimer, of course. And I just want to recognize Sofia Coppola for Priscilla. I know that it's a movie that a lot of people are not going to like, but I think that's exactly the kind of movie she was trying to make. And kind of going to give her credit for making an uncomfortable film.
Okay.
And I think it's pretty interesting, pretty unique. But my big honorable mentions for movies, things in movies that people don't give enough credit. Cinematography for El Condi.
Oh my God, it was great.
It looks gorgeous.
Absolutely stunning.
Yeah, it's a gorgeous looking flick. Even if it's just not that great, it just, wow. The
That's
black
the way
and white
I,
usage
yeah, I
is
feel that
amazing.
Sisu also same.
Same. Yeah, I'm with you on that. And Mission Impossible for stunts and special effect and choreography. And the Barbie, like I already said, was set design. And Godzilla 1 and the creator for visual effects.
Yeah.
I think Godzilla got nominated for best special effects for visual effects, and it kind of deserves it because the director of that movie was doing the special effects as well, and
Wow.
he was working his ass off. He said that the only thing that was his like Achilles heel was the fact that his computer was running out of space. I'm like, everybody was like shocked. You're doing this on your computer at home? Like,
Oh
what
my
the hell?
God.
This guy was working his ass off, and I think he deserves some
It
credit.
looked
Yeah.
really beautiful.
Very, and just for making Godzilla terrifying again, kind of very interesting.
It's the big man. He's always terrifying.
Yeah. I should have nominated a Godzilla for Best Actor of the Year,
You
but
know what? You should have. It's very disappointing. You can't snub your boy.
right. So,
Bullshit.
what did you have? Anything else you wanted to add to our ranking and ratings and our thoughts on the Oscars?
Yeah, I wish that I had seen this Annette Bening film.
Yeah, that came out of nowhere too. People are
Naiad.
surprised by her being nominated.
Yeah, I really, because I think Annette Bening is a really good actress.
She's a phenomenal
I wish
actress.
that I had seen that. But I gotta tell you, I really hope that Jeffrey Wright, even though I haven't seen his film,
Yeah, I want to see it so
I
bad.
want him to win an honorary Oscar because he's fucking amazing.
Jeffrey Wright is just. This is the craziest thing. I wanted to put that in honorable mentions. Just Jeffrey Wright.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't see his movie, but like I saw Asteroid City, which
Mm-hmm.
was my disappointing movie of the year. But his voice just makes me want to. I don't
yes.
even care what's happening. I just love this dude.
Everything
I love
he
this guy.
does, we have such crushes on
I
him.
do, and I want to see his movie very bad. I think the movie looks really good, and I'm very mad that this is coming out so late. I want to see it.
Yeah.
I already thought. I think I said this in my movie, the Jammies or whatever we did last year for best movies. I think I mentioned him as my actor because he did Wes Anderson's last film, which I thought was my favorite movie that year that we did it, The French Dispatch.
Yep.
He was phenomenal in that film. I don't know. He didn't get any credit. It's a very short bit I get in the movie,
Yeah,
but he's
yeah.
so good in
He
it.
really is. But you remember when Anne Hathaway won an Oscar for her one, scene that she.
You're
they-
always
they
coming
talk
for
about
her.
that one scene.
It's amazing.
Yes,
it's
but I'm just saying.
absolutely show-stopping.
I'm not saying that it's not. But what I'm saying is, if she could win then he can win.
Yeah.
You know what I
No,
mean?
oh, he should have been nominated. He wasn't even referenced.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he's so brilliant. He's a brilliant actor. And I just want, it's like that time, like before DiCaprio has an Oscar now.
Yes.
But before when he didn't have an Oscar, I'm like, motherfuckers, just give him an Oscar just for being amazing.
Yeah, I mean, he's deserved it so many times before.
Right.
It's so funny when actors finally win. They always win it for something that you feel like didn't deserve it so much. But, it's that sympathy award.
Yeah.
I wish they would stop with the sympathy awards.
I agree with that.
I think we just learned this year that Better Call Saul never won an award. And we're floored by it. And just seeing like these people, like, holy crap, is Bob Odenkirk ever going to get this like award? Because the guy deserves it.
He's amazing. So was Rhea Seehorn in that show.
Oh.
That whole entire cast is amazing, amazing. But it just pisses me off. It pisses me off when people who deserve recognition don't get it, such as the stunts. Why is there not a fucking
stunt
category
award, yes.
for stunts?
This deserves to happen.
Have none of you ever seen any Mission Impossible movie? Have any of you ever seen The Raid? I mean, come on. I'm talking about amazing stunts where, like, I mean, people are almost killing themselves.
A lot of them do,
There
unfortunately.
really has to be, like, an award for stunt coordinator.
We're too far in for this not to be a thing, especially
Yeah.
since CGI is now going to take the over and stunts might go away one day, which I hope
Oh,
never
God, don't
happens.
say it.
But it might, and that's an award that deserves to occur. Like, I don't understand it.
It pisses me off.
I also saw that Sterling K. Brown also got nominated, which surprised a lot of people for American Fiction as well.
Oh.
And a lot of people were shocked as one of him and Annette Bening, but they're both great. When I saw both their names, I was like, another great actor. Mm-hmm. Very glad to see him up there because he deserves it. We never got to see the movie where he played the televangelist. I wanted to see it really bad.
No, we never did.
With him, was it Taraji P. Henson, who we
Taraji
love?
P. Henson, we love her.
And they did a movie together, and I was like, I want to see this so bad. And I thought he was going to get nominated for it, and it never got anything either. Yeah. Was it Honk for Jesus or something like that?
Oh, something like that.
Yeah, I wanted to see that really bad too. Yeah. So I mean, I know there was a bunch of people saying like what's gonna win, and I think this is gonna be an easy year to guess what's gonna win these Oscars.
Yeah, you could definitely guess because of all the hype and the hubbub, and
I think that they're gonna check these boxes because they're very, very scared to piss anybody off. So I think they're gonna be like, oh, we have to give it to certain people and do certain things, which is a shame. I wish that shit would go away. I think it should just be for the talent. Like, just really have a bunch of people watch something and just have that group just check the box of what they think is the best. That's fine.
yeah.
As I've heard a lot of people say, and we have not seen Killers of the Flower Moon yet, but I hear that the actress isn't as good as a lot of the actresses this year, and they're saying, unfortunately, she won the Golden Globe. So I don't know. I think that probably it's a safe bet to say what's going to win in those categories. I think, anyways, which is a shame.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's it, right? You got anything else?
No, that's it. That's all we got.
Okay, yeah. So that's our listing, our ranking, our thoughts, and hey, have a good one. You can find us on social media at Just Another Movie Night on Instagram and a Crafty Misfit on Instagram. We love to hear your thoughts. And if you want to scream at me for Elemental, go ahead.
Yeah.
Just remember, I'm happy.
You know what? You be happy with yourself. And if you guys all want to scream at me for my picks, you know what? Blow it out your ass, okay? Love you.
Bye.